What if we bought a quilt, cut it up, and made a duffel bag? Let's go make it. But first, always remember to share this so it was saved to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. Okay, this is going to be the easiest duffel bag you have ever seen in your entire life. So I made one because of course I had to make one for one little lady as my prototype. Actually, I made a bunch of them until I figured out what I liked. And now we're making the second one together. So this is a quilt that I bought on Amazon. Now this quilt was reasonably expensive for a bulk quilt on Amazon. It was $100, $99 I think. And I had to talk myself into it. But I bit the bullet, I purchased it, and it was enough to make 2 luggage hanging bags, 2 duffel bags, and 2 of the ruffle bags for accessories. So I've got 2 full sets of luggage out of one $100 quilt, and then all of a sudden it doesn't seem quite so expensive. Now I cut out the hanging bags first because that's really what I wanted, and then I'm using the scraps to make the duffel bag and the ruffle bag. So here's our duffel bag piece. It's just one piece. I promise you, the easiest thing ever. If you've ever wanted to make a duffel bag and you're like, I don't think I can do that, this is your project. So here's our duffel bag piece. It's 27 inches wide and 35 inches long. I'm folding it over just like this. Did you see that? I just folded it in half. Folded it in half on the 35-inch side. So 35 long, I folded it over. Now I'm gonna cut out a 4-inch square from each corner. 4 inches from here, 4 inches from here. And this is doubled, so when I cut out 4 inches, it's actually gonna be 4 by 8. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. Now, I'm not measuring mine. I'm just gonna get it close enough. But if you, obviously, you probably need to measure yours. Measure it, mark it, and cut it out. I'm gonna cut out my first one that looks reasonably like 4 by 4 to me, and then I'm going to use that as my pattern for the rest of them. I'm just measuring with my heart, which is probably not always a good thing, but all right, so now we're cutting out the top and this other side and our bottom piece. Okay, so I cut a 4-inch square out of each corner after I folded it up. So when I open it up, this is actually 4 inches wide by 8 inches long. So now this is what you have, this snazzy situation. Oh, the UPS man is here. We like a prize. So now we're going to put our handles on our bag. I have this cotton webbing. You do not have to use cotton webbing. You can make your own handles if you want to. This cotton webbing is super perfect specifically for this, but if it's not what you want, then don't do it. Use something else. I cut one piece of 1-inch cotton webbing, 84 inches long, and I'm gonna start right down here in the center of my bag, in the center of this cutout. And I'm gonna come all the way up. Now I know the bag is gonna fold over where this cutout is, so my strap is gonna stop here. And it's gonna make a big U, and it's gonna come down the other side of my bag. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure that my strap is reasonably straight and that it stops right here. So I'm gonna pin even with where this cutout is on both sides. Okay, so do you see our cutout? And do you see our pins? Because our strap's gonna stop right here where the cutout is, because this is gonna fold over. That's gonna be where our zipper's at, and this is where we're gonna hold our bag from. If you want to put a pocket on, you could put it on right now and it would just go right here between your straps. I'm gonna pin this all the way down, and I just made a big circle with it, trying to make sure it was reasonably straight and that it was reasonably even, because I want it to be pretty on my bag when my bag is finished. But doing your straps like this gives it some strength when you're carrying a bunch of stuff, because the stuff is not hanging on the fabric itself. It's hanging on these straps that you've sewn on that are really strong. So now where they meet, I'm just meeting them. If it's longer than you want it, you can overlap it or you can cut it off. And I'm gonna come up here and do the same thing I did on the other end. I'm gonna pin where it meets these cutouts, because that's where I want my strap to stop sewing. I want to stop sewing my strap at the cutout. Okay, now we have our strap pinned on. We're gonna go and sew, I'm gonna sew right here. let's see, let me show you on this end. I'm gonna sew from here up to where this is. I'm gonna come across and then I'm gonna go all the way back down and come across the other end and back up until I meet. So I'm gonna sew one big long rectangle on this side and then one big long rectangle on that side. Okay, so we've sewn that on. Now I'm zigzagging either end that's with the handle. So this end and this end. And do you see how that's a raw edge? That's the big baby going outside. And here is the zigzagged edge. All that's gonna do is help kind of get rid of the frayed. But if you wanna leave it and not zigzag it, that's perfectly fine too. Or you can put bias tape or finish it off any way you want to. Now I'm gonna put my zipper foot on my sewing machine. This is what your zipper foot looks like. Don't be intimidated, I promise. It's a lot more intimidating than it actually is difficult. And then take your zipper foot, put it underneath your presser foot, lower your presser, and then it snaps on automatically, super easy. So I like to buy my zippers longer than whatever my project is. I have no idea how long this is. I could measure it, but my zipper's longer. Do you see that? Now, you can use zipper tape. Don't yell at me for wasting zipper. I don't care. It's the way I'm doing it. It's just easy for me. You can make zipper tabs if your zipper is too short, or you can just get a longer zipper like me. Now, it doesn't matter where you start your zipper at as long as it starts and finishes on your bag, okay? You do want to use the front of your zipper. You see this? This is the front, and it's the front because it has the zipper pull on it. If you sew your zipper on the wrong way, you have no zipper pull, and that's not fun, so let's don't do it. Just take the front of your zipper and lay it face down. Put it even with the raw edge of your fabric or the edge that you just zigzagged. We're gonna put it underneath our zipper foot, and we're gonna stitch right next to the zipper all the way down with a straight stitch, not a zigzag. We are gonna back stitch when we start and when we stop, and we're gonna stitch our zipper all the way down, and then we're gonna turn it over and top stitch it. I promise this is so easy. We've sewn that on. My zipper was really long, so I went on and cut part of it off. You'll cut the whole zipper off when you're finished. I was just trying to get some of it out of my way. I'm not cutting any of this end off, specifically because I want the zipper pull to be out of my way while I'm sewing the zipper on, and then I'll pull the zipper pull down and cut this off. But we've sewn this side. Now we're gonna fold it over like this, and we're going to top stitch this side. All that's going to do is keep the bag from getting caught in your zipper when you're zipping and unzipping. All right, so you put the zipper on one side. Now what you need to remember is this is the front of your zipper, and you need to put the front of your zipper to the front of your fabric. So you want it pretty side to pretty side. So you're going to fold this end up like this, and now we're going to stitch down this side. Straight stitch, back stitching when we start and when we stop. Easy, easy. Okay, we've sewn it. Now, we've turned it right side out because this is what it looks like on the underside. We're gonna fold this down and we're gonna top stitch all the way down. Now, this is a little more difficult because you're dealing with a whole bunch of bulk, but slow and steady. There's no secret to it. Just slow and steady and take your time. The top stitching is gonna keep your bag from getting caught in your zipper when you're zipping and unzipping, so it's kind of important. And now you have put your zipper in your duffel bag. Look at this. I remember the first zipper I ever did. I was so proud. You would have thought that I had just won $1 million. But they're not hard, I promise. They're just intimidating, but definitely not difficult. So now, here's our zipper, right? We want to take our bag and put it like this until we have these pieces. Do you see this? Well, let's turn it inside out. All right. We're going to sew this down and we're going to sew this down. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. Oh, let's change our foot. Okay, so now we've sewn these two. I'm going to zigzag down this side and zigzag down that side, and that's going to give it a more finished edge on the inside than if I just leave it raw. But if you want to leave it raw, that's fine too, I promise. Or put bias tape or whatever it is. Finish it however you want to, or not. Now, this is what I have. I'm going to pick up each corner, and I'm just going to pick it up like this, and I'm going to lay it flat, and I'm going to straight stitch that. And then I'm going to pick up the next corner the same way. I'm just pulling it out like that. You see that? Where I'm just picking it up and making it straight and straight stitching. I'm gonna straight stitch all 4 of these corners, and then I'm gonna zigzag them. So I'm gonna pick them up one at a time, sew them, and then zigzag them. And then we're gonna be done. Literally, that's it. All right, let's turn our duffel bag right side out and see what we have. I promise y'all, you could make it. It's so easy and super cute. And my little ladies are gonna have it all of their childhood, and how stinking sweet is this? So we have a ruffle bag, a duffel bag, and now all we have left to make is a hanging bag. Is this not adorable? So you could very easily, hang on, let me poke my corners out so he'll stand up nice and pretty. Let's put something in it so it stands up and looks nice while I talk to you about it. Okay, you could very easily make your handles longer. Just make your piece longer. You could add a pocket to the end. You could add a pocket to the front. You could add a monogram. My favorite that I wish I had thought of, but I didn't, was putting a ruffle down the zipper. How cute would that be? So we might be making another one of these. But here's our duffel bag. Super fun, super easy, super beginner friendly. And oh my goodness, obviously the cutest thing we've ever seen. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.